Hello and welcome to this channel. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to build wealth easily while others struggle paycheck to paycheck, then this video is perfect for you. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic personal finance books of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book has transformed the way millions of people think about money, work, and wealth. It's not just a book about getting rich. It's a guide to understanding how money works and how to use it to achieve financial freedom. Whether you're someone who's just starting out, a professional looking to improve your finances, or an entrepreneur seeking inspiration, the lessons in this book are invaluable. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the book's core ideas, practical steps for applying them to your life, and the motivation to take action. Let's dive in. The foundation of Rich Dad, Poor Dad lies in Robert Kiyosaki's unique life experience of having two father figures. His biological father, whom he calls his poor dad, and his best friend's father, whom he calls his rich dad. Both men were influential in his upbringing, but they had completely different perspectives on money, work, and success. Poor Dad was highly educated, with a PhD and a secure government job. He believed in the traditional path of working hard, saving money, and climbing the corporate ladder. He often told Robert, "Go to school, get good grades, and find a secure job." This is advice many of us have heard growing up. It's the standard formula for success that society teaches. Rich Dad, on the other hand, didn't even finish high school. But he was a self-made millionaire and an entrepreneur who understood how money worked. He believed in financial education, taking calculated risks, and building wealth through investments and businesses. Unlike Poor Dad, Rich Dad didn't believe in working hard for money. Instead, he believed in learning how to make money work for you. This difference in mindset was the foundation of the lessons Robert learned and shared in the book. Poor Dad believed in earning money through hard work, but Rich Dad believed that wealth starts with understanding how money flows and how to make it grow. One of the core lessons in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the difference between assets and liabilities. This concept is simple on the surface, but it's often misunderstood. According to Rich Dad, an asset is something that puts money into your pocket, while a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Let's break this down with some examples. Assets include things like rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, businesses, or intellectual property like books or courses. These are things that generate income for you over time. Liabilities, on the other hand, include things like car loans, credit card debt, and mortgages. These take money out of your pocket every month. Here's the problem. Many people confuse liabilities with assets. For instance, they think their home is an asset. But if you're paying a mortgage every month and the house isn't generating income, it's actually a liability. The same goes for cars, which lose value over time, or luxury items like designer clothing or expensive electronics. Rich Dad's advice is simple but powerful. Focus on acquiring assets that generate income and minimizing liabilities that drain your money. The more assets you have, the closer you are to achieving financial freedom. But how do you start building assets? It can feel overwhelming, especially if you don't have a lot of money to begin with. Rich Dad taught Robert that it's not about how much money you start with, it's about developing the right habits and mindset. Start small. For example, you could invest in a low-cost index fund or save for a down payment on a rental property. Over time, as your assets grow, your passive income will start to exceed your expenses. This brings us to another critical concept in the book, the rat race. The rat race is a vicious cycle that traps most people. Here's how it works. You work hard at your job, earn money, and spend it on things like bills, rent, and credit card payments. As your income increases, so do your expenses. You get a raise, and instead of saving or investing the extra money, you upgrade your lifestyle. You buy a bigger house, a nicer car, or the latest gadgets. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck financially. Rich Dad taught Robert to break free from the rat race by focusing on building passive income. Passive income is money you earn without actively working for it. For example, If you own stocks that pay dividends, that's passive income. If you own a rental property, the rent you collect is passive income. If you create an online course or write a book, the royalties you earn are passive income. The goal is to build enough passive income to cover your living expenses so you no longer have to rely on a traditional job. Let's go deeper into building passive income. First, think about your existing skills and how you can monetize them. For example, if you're a graphic designer, you could create design templates and sell them online. If you're a writer, you could self-publish a book on Amazon. These may start as small side hustles, but over time, they can generate consistent income. Second, consider investing in assets even if you're starting with a small amount. For instance, if you set aside $100 a month and invest it in a dividend-paying stock or a mutual fund, that money will grow over time thanks to compounding. Compounding is when your earnings generate more earnings, creating a snowball effect. Third, think long-term. Building wealth isn't about quick wins. It's about consistency and patience. Rich Dad often said, "It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep." This means avoiding unnecessary expenses, minimizing debt, and reinvesting your earnings into assets. Another key lesson from Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the importance of financial education. Rich Dad believed that the lack of financial knowledge is one of the biggest reasons people struggle financially. Most schools teach us how to be good employees, but they don't teach us how to manage or grow our money. This is why so many people graduate with degrees but still live paycheck to paycheck. So, how can you improve your financial education? Start by reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and other personal finance classics. Attend seminars or workshops on investing, real estate, or entrepreneurship. Take online courses to learn about budgeting, taxes, or building passive income streams. The key is to keep learning and applying what you learn. One of the most inspiring lessons in Rich Dad, Poor Dad is about taking risks and embracing failure. Poor Dad believed in playing it safe, sticking to a secure job and avoiding risks. Rich Dad, on the other hand, believed that taking calculated risks is essential for building wealth. He taught Robert that failure isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. For example, many people are afraid of investing because they fear losing money. But Rich Dad taught Robert that the biggest risk is not taking action at all. If you never invest, your money will never have the chance to grow. Think about this. Most successful entrepreneurs and investors have faced failure at some point. The difference is that they didn't let failure stop them. They learned from their mistakes and kept moving forward. So, what are the most important takeaways from Rich Dad, Poor Dad? First, understand the difference between assets and liabilities. Focus on buying assets that generate income and minimize liabilities that drain your money. Second, pay yourself first. Make saving and investing a priority. Third, invest in your financial education. Learn how money works so you can make smarter financial decisions. Fourth, start small but start now. Don't wait until you're rich to begin investing. Start with what you have. And finally, embrace risk and failure. Don't let fear hold you back from taking action. To summarize, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is more than just a book about money. It's a guide to changing your mindset and creating a life of financial freedom. The lessons in this book can help you escape the rat race, build wealth, and take control of your financial future. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments, what's the first step you'll take to improve your finances? We'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.